You can't heal what you keep pretending doesn't hurt. If you feel stuck in your work, in your health, your emotions, or your relationships, it's not random. It's something deeper, something within calling for your attention. Hi, beautiful souls. I am Luciana. Welcome back to my channel. Here we create inner peace, live with more purpose, and build a life that's true to who you are. And in this video, I'm going to share with you how to start healing your life today. And not by doing more, but by coming back to yourself. Because healing doesn't follow a straight line, it does not have a checklist. It's a journey inwards, a journey that begins by reconnecting deeply with yourself, emotionally, mentally, physically, energetic, and spiritual. And I know this path because I've lived it. And for years, I said I was too busy chasing success until my body and mind gave up. Depression and health issues forced me to stop running and finally listen. And that's when my healing began from the inside out. Now, let's talk about what that actually looked like. So, imagine healing like a triangle. Three powerful elements that hold and support one another. And let's start with the top of the triangle, truthfulness. The truth is, healing begins the moment you stop pretending you are fine and start being honest with yourself. So, truthfulness means recognizing what's actually happening inside without filters, without excuses. And we say things like, I'm just tired, or it's nothing, when really something inside is quietly breaking us. So, we stay busy, we push through, but healing doesn't come from avoidance, it comes from the willingness to say, this is where I really am. And I'm ready to stop running from it. Maybe you have been pushing down emotions that just want to be heard. And so take this moment now to pause and ask yourself, where am I not being fully honest with myself? What part of me needs to be seen with compassion? And this is truthfulness. It's it's not perfection. It's not about judging yourself or trying to figure everything out. It's simply the willingness to stop pretending and start being real. And as you begin to reconnect with your truth, you might realize that awareness alone is not enough. Your name what is real, but something still feel stuck. And that's because healing doesn't end with recognizing the truth. It needs to move, it needs to breathe. And that's where the second side of the healing triangle comes in, energy. And everything you have been through, the pain you have carried, the emotions you held in, the parts of yourself you had to silence just to keep going, it all left an imprint. And when that energy doesn't move, it gets stuck in your body, in your mind, and in your life. So it can show up as an exhaustion and anxiety, tension, or emotional heaviness. But sometimes it goes even deeper. Maybe it's migraines, allergies that suddenly appear, or digestive issues, skin conditions that no cream ever fully heals, or even diagnoses that came out of nowhere. Something chronic or serious that doesn't quite make sense. Because when emotional energy stays stuck and unprocessed, it doesn't just disappear, it finds somewhere to go. And often it lands in the body, you know, quietly building over time. And it's not just about physical health as well. It's stuck energy also can keep you looping through the same life experience again and again. And maybe you have noticed this. You keep attracting the same kind of unhealthy relationships, even when you thought you learned the lesson. You you stay stuck in the same patterns with money. You start a project, get excited, and then lose momentum again. This is not because you are weak or unmotivated. It's because your energy is still carrying an old story, an emotion, a belief, a fear that hasn't been seen or released. And your outer life will often reflect that stuck energy until it shifts. So that's why healing your energy is so powerful, because when your energy moves, your life begins to move too. And that shift brings new perspective and new possibilities in your life that you have never expect. And that is your opportunity to stay open to what's real, to what is possible, and to the healing tools that may not make sense to your mind at first, but deeply resonate with your energy. And maybe you have judged certain thing as too spiritual or too out there, and that's okay, because I did too at first. But once I allow myself to stay open and curious, something shifted. Not only I started to feel the difference in my body and my energy, I could finally understand it with my mind too. And so instead of deciding with your head, try feeling with your heart and ask yourself, what if you just gave it a chance? What if something beautiful could actually happen simply by being open? And you might be wondering, what kind of healing tools are you talking about? Well, honestly, it can be anything that helps you move your energy and reconnect with yourself. For example, meditation, Kundalini yoga, sound healing, breath work, Ray, tapping, shamanic healing, and so many others. And you don't have to do all of them. You don't have to fully understand how they work. Just stay open and try what to feel drawn to. And notice how it makes you feel. And follow your curiosity and let your body guide, back to your flow. Because when your energy shifts, everything else begins to shift it too. Here's something really important I want to remember. Healing doesn't change who you are. It helps you return to who you have always been, beneath everything you have carried. And once your energy begins to shift, something beautiful happens. You begin to wake up and you feel more present, more aware, more you. So you start to feel things differently and you start to feel different. New ideas and desires begin to rise. And you might begin to feel pulled towards something new, or a quiet knowing that you are meant for something more. And that's not random, that's your through beginning to rise. It's your inner self whispering, I'm ready now. And with this rise comes the need for deeper self discovery, because healing is not just about feeling better, it's about remembering who you are beneath the noise, beneath the roles you have played, the expectations you have carried, and the survival patterns you have been stuck in. And the more you come home to yourself, your values, your desires, the more naturally life begins to feel aligned. And you start to feel what's true for you, not just what you have been taught to chase. Um, this reconnection with your essence, your passions, your values, your purpose is an important part of the healing journey, because the more you understand yourself, the more clearly you begin to move in ways that feel real and aligned. And that's where aligned actions comes in. It helps you honor what's true inside by how you show up outside. And this is not about doing more. It's about doing what feels true, because aligned actions doesn't come from pressure or fear. It doesn't come from your mind trying to figure it all out. It comes from your heart, your body, your energy finally being in flow. You know, the old way of pushing, performing, and trying to prove yourself was survival. But this way of being is different. Now your actions feel guided. You're pausing, you're listening, you are choosing from a deeper place. And sometimes it starts with the simplest moment. You remember something you used to love. You feel a spark of inspiration. You hear an idea that feels exciting and a little scary. And that's the moment when the line action says, let's move. But this movement is not about chasing everything overnight. It's one small, honest step. Maybe it's journaling that idea, maybe it's making that phone call, or setting a boundary, or simply saying yes to yourself. Aligned actions might look subtle on the outside, but the inside is powerful, because every time you choose from through, you reinforce your healing. You tell your whole being, I trust you. And that trust, that's what builds momentum, and that's what creates a life that actually feels like yours. So ask yourself, what feels aligned with who I am becoming, not who I have been? What small step can I take from that place? It doesn't have to be big, and it doesn't have to make sense to anyone. It just has to feel true. Because healing is not only about feeling better, it's about living better. It's about living your truth, living from love, living in alignment with who you truly are. I hope that message landed in your heart. Thank you so much for being here with me today. And if this message touched you, I would love to hear from you in the comments. And what is something you are feeling you're ready to shift or move in your life? And if you haven't already, and make sure to subscribe. And I'm sharing more tools, insights, and energy practice to support your peace, your purpose, and your path. And remember, you are your one greatest healer. Your truth is sacred, and your journey matters more than you know. Love and light for you all, and I see you in the next video.